The stars were quiet that night. The Zeltron science ship, Observer 7, floated in deep space. Scanning a dark region known as the Black Rift, Captain Velker stood on the bridge, his large yellow eyes fixed on the data screens. His crew of 12 worked silently. They were there to study cosmic waves, nothing more. But something strange happened. At first it was a soft pulse on their sensors, a signal, not a normal space echo. This was different. It was coded, sharp, and repeated every 7 seconds. The technician Joler called out softly. He told the captain the signal was artificial. The language was unknown, but the structure was too perfect, too clean. It was not random. It was a message. Captain Velker ordered the ship closer to the signal source. The Observer 7 glided toward the dark spot in space. Soon, they saw it on their screens, a ship. It was massive, dark gray, floating without lights. The shape was wrong, sharp angles like a knife. Velker stared. It looked human, but why here? Why in the Black Rift? Velker gave orders to scan. For life signs, the results came back empty. No life detected. The ship seemed dead, but the signal kept playing like a whisper in the dark. The crew grew nervous. Joler suggested they leave. Velker refused. Curiosity burned inside him. They were scientists. They needed to know. They launched a probe toward the human ship. The probe sent back images, dark halls, silent corridors, and signs of a battle. But no bodies, no damage, just empty. Velker frowned. Something was wrong. If the ship was in a battle, where were the crew? Where was the enemy? He decided to send a boarding team. 4 crew members suited up. They docked with the human ship. Velker stayed in contact, watching through their helmet cams. The team entered slowly. The human ship was cold. Metal walls stretched like veins. Strange markings covered the walls, human writing, warnings, and numbers. The team moved carefully. There was no sound except their breathing. Then the first sound came. A soft metal clang echoed in the darkness. The team froze. Velker leaned forward. The sound came again, closer this time. The leader of the team whispered they saw a shadow move at the far end of the corridor. Velker ordered them to fall back. But it was too late. One by one, their signals went dark. No screams, no shots, just silence. Velker felt cold. He tried to call them. Nothing. The ship's camera feed showed empty halls. Velker ordered the docking. Ports sealed. He told Joler to prepare for escape. But as they turned the ship around, the human ship powered up. Lights flickered on. Engines hummed. The Observer 7 shook. They were being pulled back by a tractor beam. Panic spread on the bridge. Velker shouted for full power. The engines roared, but they couldn't break free. The human ship dragged them closer. Velker felt his heart pound. Oh, this was not an abandoned ship. This was a trap. Then the human ship spoke. A voice came over. There comes calm, cold, human. It said only 5 words. We see you. Stay still. Velker's blood froze. The voice wasn't angry. It wasn't loud. It was like a hunter speaking to prey. Joler whispered they needed weapons. But the Observer 7 was a science ship. It had no weapons. Something landed on their hull. The sensors showed movement, small life forms moving outside. Joler screamed. They were cutting through the hull. Velker ordered lockdown. Steel walls sealed the bridge. They watched in horror as the sensors showed 5, no, 10, 20 shapes moving. They were inside the ship now, fast, silent. The lights flickered. One by one, the bridge crew vanished from the sensors. No alarms, no screams, just silence. Velker stood alone on the bridge. He held a plasma cutter, the only weapon he could find. The door behind him opened with a soft hiss. He turned. A human stood there. Black armor, no face. Only a dark visor with a faint red glow. The human tilted its head, like studying him. Velker pointed the cutter. His hand shook. The human didn't move. Then it spoke calm and quiet. You are interesting. Velker felt fear like ice in his veins. He asked what they wanted. The human stepped closer, said the humans wanted to study him, study his fear, study how aliens reacted when hunted. Velker backed away. He asked why. The human gave a simple answer, because that is what predators do. The human raised a hand. Velker screamed. The Observer 7 floated in space, dead and silent. Weeks later, the Galactic Council received a data packet. It contained recordings from the ship. The human message repeated at the end: "We learn, we hunt, we wait." The council members watched in silence. Fear grew inside them. Humans were not just survivors, they were hunters. And now, they were hunting the galaxy. The Galactic Council remembered the first time they met humans. It started like all first contacts: polite words, peaceful talks, friendly faces. The council had met many new species before. Some were weak, some were strong. Some wanted friendship, some wanted war. But humans, they were different. The first contact was planned with care. The council sent the Krather, a powerful warrior race, known for their strength in battle. The Krather had crushed many enemies before. They were proud, fearless, and cruel. The council believed that if humans saw the Krather's power, they would submit or stay away. It seemed simple. The Krather ship arrived near a human colony. Human ship answered with greetings and open arms. They sent messages of peace. They shared information, even food. The Krather commander laughed. He thought humans were soft and weak. They didn't even carry weapons when they came aboard for the meeting. The Krather waited for a chance to strike. They planned to capture the humans and take the colony by force. The humans didn't seem to notice. They smiled. They shook hands. They asked questions about Krather culture, about their battles. The commander felt proud. He told them stories of how his people crushed weaker races. The humans listened quietly. But then, something strange happened. The Krather noticed some of their systems were acting wrong. The lights flickered. Doors locked without command. Their security teams lost contact. The commander ordered a check. The humans smiled and said nothing suddenly. The Krather realized it was the humans. The peaceful visitors had already taken control of their ship. While they listened to the commander's stories, human agents hacked their systems. They planted viruses. They mapped every hallway. They learned every weakness, all while smiling. The commander shouted for his guards, but the guards were gone, one by one, taken without a sound. Humans had studied them, learned their habits, and then moved in the shadows, silent, deadly. The humans didn't fight for glory. They didn't show off their power. They fought like predators, patient, careful, and always unseen until it was too late. The commander tried to run, but the doors sealed. A human voice came over the ship's speakers. Calm, cold, we have learned enough. The Krather screamed for mercy. The humans didn't answer. They didn't kill the Krather commander. They left him alive, floating in an escape pod. Alone. Afraid. The council found the escape pod days later. Commander was shaking, eyes wide, speaking nonsense. He kept repeating the same words. They smiled. They smiled. While they hunted. Us. The council didn't believe him at first. They thought he was broken by fear. But when they checked the Krather ship, they found no crew, no bodies, nothing. It was empty. Like a shadow had passed over it and taken everything. Then they found the message. A simple human message left on the ship's system. We don't attack first. We study, we wait, we win. The council grew silent. They started to understand. Humans didn't fight for fun. They didn't rush into battle. They watched. They learned. And when they moved, nobody even saw them coming. The first contact was not a meeting. It was a hunt, and the humans were the hunters. The mercenary's name was Krez. He was known across the galaxy for his hunting skills. He had hunted beasts on death worlds, tracked killers in dark systems, and fought wars for the highest bidders. Krez had never failed a hunt. Until the day he hunted a human. It started with a simple contract. An alien lord wanted a human captured alive. The human's name was Sergeant Reed, a soldier. A survivor of many battles, Krez thought it would be easy. One human, alone on a jungle planet. The planet was wild, full of thick trees, sharp rocks, and dangerous animals. But Krez smiled when he heard that. That was his kind of place. He took a team of 5 hunters with him. Ash! They landed on the planet and scanned the area. The scanners picked up nothing unusual. The human was there, somewhere hiding. Krez gave his orders. Search, find, capture. The first sign of trouble came fast. One of his hunters went missing. His signal disappeared. The others said he had just stepped behind a tree and never came back. They found his helmet later, hanging from a branch. No blood, no body, just the helmet. And a message scratched into the metal. Found you. Us. Felt a cold chill, but he told his team to stay sharp. They moved together, weapons ready. But it happened again. Another hunter vanished. This time, they heard a short gasp. Nothing more. They ran to the sound. They found his gun on the ground, still warm. No tracks, no signs, only silence. The jungle felt alive, watching them. Krez ordered a retreat. They started moving back, toward the ship, but the path they came from was blocked. The trees had shifted. The trail was gone, and the air felt wrong. Then a voice spoke from the shadows. You're the prey now. Krez spun around, gun raised. The voice was human, but it sounded close. Too close. The team fired in every direction. Blasts burned the trees. Smoke filled the air. But when it cleared, there was nothing. No human, no sound. Then came the traps. One hunter fell into a pit, sharpened spikes waiting below. Another was caught in a rope snare, pulled screaming into the trees. Krez tried to save him, but the hunter vanished into the branches. His screams stopped. Krez was alone. He ran. His heart pounded like a drum. He didn't care about the mission anymore, just wanted to live. But the jungle felt endless. Every shadow seemed to move. Every sound felt like a whisper in his ear. Then he saw him. The human stepped out of the trees, silent as a ghost. Black armor, face covered, eyes cold. The human raised a hand. Krez froze. The human didn't speak, just pointed at Krez, and then made a slow cutting motion across his throat. Krez fired. The human moved fast, rolling aside, vanishing into the jungle. Krez ran again. He didn't stop, not even when his legs ached and his lungs burned. When he finally reached the ship, he locked the door and launched into orbit. His hands shook on the controls. He stared down at the jungle world below, heart racing. He thought he was safe. Then a soft voice came from behind him. Not bad for prey. Krez turned slowly. The human was standing in the shadows of his ship's hold, calm, smiling. Krez dropped his weapon. He didn't remember much after that. The council found his ship floating in space a week later. Krez was alive, barely, eyes wide, silent. He wouldn't speak at first. When he finally did, his words were soft. Don't hunt a human unless you want to be hunted. The council listened. They asked if it was a team of humans. Krez shook his head. It was one. Only one. The galaxy started to understand. Humans didn't need an army. They didn't need fleets. One human in the right place was enough to destroy a team of the best hunters alive. They were patient. They were smart. And when they decided to hunt, you never saw them coming. The Draven Empire was known for its power. Their ships were fast, their weapons deadly, and their soldiers fearless. They had crushed whole worlds without mercy. When they heard stories about humans, they laughed. Hunters, ghosts, tricks. The Draven believed only in force, as they wanted proof, so they sent a fleet. 100 warships. Thousands of soldiers. Their target was a small human outpost on the edge of space, a mining station with weak defenses. The Draven commander, General Kralak, smiled when he saw it on the screen. A lonely station, easy prey. He gave the order, Fleet moved in fast. The mining station sent a message, peaceful words, asking for talks. Kralik ignored it. He wanted no talks. He ordered the station to surrender or be destroyed. There was no answer. The Draven ships opened fire. Their beams hit the station. Explosions flashed, but the station didn't break. Its shields held strong, too strong. Kralik frowned. Mining stations weren't supposed to have such shields. He ordered a second attack. All weapons, all ships, they fired together. The air shook with power. When the smoke cleared, the station still floated untouched. Then the human station fired back. One single shot, a beam of light. Thin as a thread, sliced through the lead Draven ship. The ship broke apart in silence, its engines cut in half. The crew inside never had a chance. Kralik shouted for shields, but it was too late. The station fired again and again. Every shot was perfect. Every shot hit a weak spot. Draven ships exploded like toys, one after another, falling in fire. Kralik's fleet tried to escape. They couldn't. Their engines shut down, systems hacked. The humans had taken control. Draven ships drifted, helpless. Then the message came. A simple human voice spoke on. "Every channel we warned you." Kralik felt his heart sink. He tried to fight back. But before he could move, his ship's power died. The lights went out. The air grew cold. Then they appeared. Human soldiers, black armor, silent steps. They came aboard without a sound, moving like shadows. They didn't speak. They didn't shout. They took the Draven soldiers down, one by one, fast, clean, without mercy. Kralik fought with his blade. It was strong, trained for war. But the human moved faster, smarter, like he knew every move before Kralik made it. In seconds, it was over. Kralik fell to his knees. The human leaned close and whispered, "You thought we were weak. You thought wrong." Then the human was gone. The Draven Empire never spoke of the battle again. Their leaders covered it up. They told their people it was a training accident. But Kralik knew the truth. The galaxy knew the truth. Humans didn't win with numbers. They won with fear. With silence, with perfect strikes at the perfect time. They didn't need armies. They needed only to watch, to wait, and to strike when no one expected. And when they did, there was no escape. The Varnak Syndicate was the largest crime network in the galaxy. They ran smuggling rings, black markets, and hired killers. They controlled whole planets through fear. Their leader, Lord Zarn, believed nothing could touch them. He ruled with greed and power. When he heard about the humans, he laughed. Zarn thought humans were useful tools, sellable, cheap, easy to control. So he sent his men to capture some for his markets. They took 5 humans from a border colony, fast and silent. The humans didn't fight. They didn't resist. They let the Varnaks take them. Zarn's men brought the humans to his prison ship, a floating fortress in deep space. No one had ever escaped it. The humans were locked in steel cells, watched by armed guards, trapped behind force fields. But on the first night, something happened. One of the guards didn't report in. The captain thought it was nothing. Then another guard vanished. Then 2 more. No alarms, no sounds, just gone. The captain checked the cells. They were empty. The humans had escaped. Zarn was furious, sent every guard to search the ship. They checked every room, every hall. But the humans were never seen. The guards started to whisper. They said the humans moved like shadows. They said the humans walked through walls. They said the humans hunted them. Zarn didn't believe it. He thought it was a joke until the lights went out. The power failed. The ship fell into darkness. Then came the screams, sharp, short, echoing in the halls. Guards fired at shadows. They hit nothing. The screams grew louder. Zarn locked himself in the command room. His bodyguards stood ready. They waited. Minutes passed. Hours. Silence. Then the door opened. No blast. No sound. A human walked in alone. Calm. His face was hidden behind a dark helmet. He said nothing. Zarn ordered his guards to shoot. He fired. The human moved like water. In seconds, the guards were down. The human walked to Zarn, slow and steady. Zarn begged. He offered credits, ships, even planets. The human leaned close. You don't own us, the human said. Zarn felt fear burn in his chest. He asked what the humans wanted. The human answered in a whisper, "We want you to know you were hunted." Zarn was left alive. The next day, the galactic underworld heard the story. Zarn's empire fell apart. His men refused to work. Said the humans would come for them too. They said no wall, no guard, no ship could stop them. Fear broke the syndicate. The council heard the news. Humans didn't just hunt soldiers or enemies. They hunted anyone who thought they were prey. They were not slaves. They were not weak, and they would never, ever be controlled. The galaxy learned a new rule. Never cross a human. Because once a human marked you, you were already dead. The Zarn Collective was different from other alien empires. They didn't believe in war, fear, or strength. They believed in mind control. The Zarn were masters of the hive mind. They could reach into the thoughts of other species, twist them, control them, break them. No race had ever escaped their control. So when the Zarn first met humans, they smiled. They believed humans would fall like all the others. The Zarn sent a mindcaster, a creature, trained to enter the thoughts of a target and break their will. The mission was simple: control a human officer, use him to learn secrets, and crush the humans before they could resist. The mindcaster found a human named Captain Lewis, a soldier, a war hero, the perfect target. One night, as Lewis slept aboard his ship, the mindcaster entered his mind. The creature felt the familiar pull of thoughts, fears, memories, but something was wrong. Instead of soft, open thoughts, the mindcaster found walls, hard walls, thick, silent. The creature pushed harder, and the walls pushed back. Suddenly, a voice echoed inside the mindcaster's own thoughts. "You shouldn't have come here." The mindcaster froze. This wasn't possible. No one could hear a mindcaster's touch. No one could speak inside a controller's mind. But Lewis was speaking, inside his head. The mindcaster tried to flee, but it was trapped. Images filled the creature's mind, battlefields, broken enemies, shadows moving in the dark, humans hunting, always hunting. The creature felt fear for the first time. Then came pain, sharp, endless pain. The mindcaster screamed, but the sound never left its mind. Lewis stood inside his thoughts, eyes cold, voice calm. "We know your tricks," Lewis whispered. "We learned them. We beat them. You don't control us. We control you." The mindcaster broke. Its body twisted in the real world. The Zarn pulled it back before it died. It couldn't believe what had happened, but it got worse. The next night, the mindcaster's body vanished. The Zarn searched everywhere. They found nothing. Then they heard a human voice over their hive channels. "You looked into our minds. Now we're looking into yours." The Zarn panicked. They tried to shield their thoughts. They tried to shut their minds. But the humans were already inside, quiet, watching. The Zarn hive began to break apart. The minds of their leaders twisted. Confused by visions of human faces, human eyes, human hands reaching from the dark, the Zarn tried to fight. But every time they struck, they'd found nothing. The humans had learned, they had adapted, and now the Zarn learned the truth. Humans could not be controlled. Because humans didn't fear the dark corners of the mind. They lived there. They used fear like a weapon. They turned the hunter's trick against the hunter. The council heard the Zarn's cries before their hive. Fell silent. A new fear spread across the stars. Humans didn't just hunt bodies, they hunted minds. And if you dared to enter theirs, you wouldn't come back. The galaxy was silent. Everyone waited. The humans had shown their power again and again. They had beaten armies, machines, minds, and mercenaries. They had taken on the strongest empires and won. But the question remained, what was next? Council gathered for their most secret meeting. All leaders from every race came together. They feared the humans. They didn't understand them. They wanted answers. A human ambassador was invited to speak. Her name was Commander Mara. She stood, tall, calm, and confident. She did not carry weapons. She did not shout. She spoke with simple words, but every word held weight. The galaxy fears us, Mara said, because we are different, because we don't play by your rules, because we fight not for power or glory, but to survive, to protect those we love. Itty, Council murmured. Some nodded. Others looked uneasy. Mara continued, humans are hunters by nature. We learn quickly. We adapt faster. We use every weakness as a strength. That is why you have seen us win. But we do not want endless war. We want peace. We want respect. If you respect us, you will survive. One council member asked, if humans do not want war, why do you fight so fiercely? Mara smiled. Because when someone hunts us, we become the hunters. When you threaten us, we protect our own without mercy. That is what makes us different. That is why humans are the ultimate predators of the galaxy. The council fell silent. For the first time, many leaders felt fear, not just of humans' power, but of their will. Humans did not just survive. They thrived in darkness, danger, and chaos. They became stronger with every challenge. Mara looked around and said, the choice is yours. You can learn from us. Work with us, or you can be hunted. The galaxy understood. The truth. Humans were not just warriors. They were legends in the making. They were the shadow in the night that no enemy could see coming, and the universe would never be the same again, because humans were the ultimate predators, and their hunt had only just begun.